Hi, it's Friday. I know the thing kind of blurted out on the Facebook page because YouTube hasn't been sharing to the Facebook page very effectively, and funny enough, actually the app screwed up when I tried to share it last night because there was a really terrible upload speed. Hannah's video errored out 3 times, and so her Thursday video went up today. So mine went up actually like last night when we were going to bed, but I tried to share it through the phone app over the pages thing, and it wound up putting it on my athlete page, anyways. So at least we know the constant thumbs downer is one that sees it on YouTube or Twitter, not on Facebook. Because it didn't get changed to Facebook until this morning, and there was already the thumbs down, so yeah. Just kind of like not doing too terribly much. I did want to talk about something that I've probably brought up before that is involving trust, perception, and reality. I had a different title for this. The third word. It was supposed to be perception, reality, and something else, and I can't remember quite what it was. But much like what The View did Wednesday, they didn't actually talk about the rape from the Stanford swimmer, and even though that happened over the weekend, they didn't talk about Wednesday. This is not about that. What this is something that's going on right now in my life that I talked a little bit about. Okay, I pretty much blurbed out on Snapchat, but I haven't talked about much. I won't talk about much on Facebook. I won't talk about it on the vlogs until after this weekend when I get a little bit more confirmation about stuff. But right now, I'm feeling real bad and kind of petrified. I was laying in bed petrified last night while Aaron was on his way home. I have had bouts of sadness today. So we're going to talk in general. That perception, reality, and trust. And I think I've talked about this before. And what I mean is, people perceive things, whether you hear it, or you see it, or you taste it, or you smell it, or you feel it, or you feel it. And then there's what really happened. Now, the trust will come in at a later part of this conversation. So you perceive things. I see a row of bottles that have varying degrees of colored liquid in them to tint their things. What I see as those colors is not what you see. You know, I've even had the idea that what you see as colors, nobody else sees. That literally every person sees colors differently. And we all, know in a way there's part of the trust. You see something. Your partner, your friend sees something, your mom sees something, and your cousin sees something. You're all looking at the same thing. Your mom says that's red. Your brother says, well, yeah, you've said that before, Mom, that's red. Your cousin and you were the same age, and you guys are really young, and okay, that's red. That's what happens. So you trust that the person gave you correct information. And this gets hammered over the fact that when you go and see something, you say, wow, that's a cool red car. And everyone else says, hey, that is red. Okay. It reinforces what red is. I mean, right now, you guys are all thinking, this is red. It literally had the red, that has all red food coloring in it. I mean, it's not all, because it would be black, it would be dark colored, but there's nothing else in there. There's water and red food coloring. So so I know that's red, because the box told me that that bottle was red. Is it red? Now, that's where the reality comes in. We accept it as red. Reality is your perception. But when it comes down to situations. This is going to echo back into a little bit of YouTube. I think I did talk about this one before, but this was about editing personalities versus editing body and versus editing various other things. You know, if you're a decent singer and you punch your thing through an auto-tune just to kind of smooth out the bumpy bits, but it still really sounds like you. It just sounds a little bit better, like a little bit better. You're like, wow, that's actually pretty good. You know, it's not like what people say when they come, you know, it's not the joke for auto-tune. But when they smooth everything out, all right. I mean, that's why, you know, freaking albums that you get, the actual songs don't sound anything like they're really sung, because the people either tweaked a little bit with the sound, they recorded multiple different parts of the song at the same time, they are able to get breath, get a drink of water. When they're performing on stage, they've already been singing like 6-7 songs, you know, and then they sing your favorite song and they're already kind of raspy, and they've been already doing this like for months, and they're jet tired. So there's that perception between reality and, you know, about the auto-tune. So in a situation, you have people act in one way. How do I say this without getting into specifics? I'll say it from first person then. We'll go back to college. We'll go back to like 2005, 2006 era, 2007. People didn't understand autism at the time. It still is. It was way less known than it was now, and we're talking almost 10 years later. So even when I told them I'd have autism, they didn't know what that meant. They thought, you know, they thought full-blown, you know, as we called it, the Evergreen School District, CBC4, Center-Based Care Level 4, like you're stuck in a wheelchair, you've got your hand over here, and you are uncommunicative. You know, but most of autism can be classified as CBC1, CBC2, learning disabilities, personality disorders. They just need a little bit extra care, but they can't be necessarily mainstreamed. Or maybe they need to be special cared for things they have difficulty with. Who knows? So, when it comes down to that, I would act certain ways that were natural to me. I would ask a lot of questions, because I have a duality. I inherently trust people. That's why my sarcasm detection sucks. Because my brain says, why would you lie to me? Why would you intentionally tell me false information? What did I do wrong? Victimized behavior, probably. I could have a terrible ego. This is going to be a long video. I'm already looking at that time. And so it's like, people would think I was being dumb. I was being weird. I was being overly inquisitive. I was being a stalker. They didn't understand that I didn't understand something that they knew very intrinsically to themselves. I had to ask if that was sarcasm. To me, you know, what would my autobiography be if I had a title of it? The Great Sarcasm Debate. But and so it's like, when you see something, a situation, and this is perfect with Law and Order, and the little quote from Babylon 5. There's my side, there's your side, and there's the truth. Every situation is a three-edged sword. And much like in Law and Order, much like with any bit of law, you have to look at one side and then see the other side and then figure out where the truth is in the middle. You cannot trust your own perception. You cannot trust an eyewitness. You trust hard evidence. This is mostly in CSI that came out to be, but that's just what happens with that. There's reality, which is what CSIs look for. They look for the irrefutable evidence of what this is. DNA, shoe prints, all that stuff. Word of mouth is dumb. So in a way, it's sort of scientific, and I told Aaron that it feels like I'm being I get chastised for being, I guess the colloquial term is I'm being evolved. That I It's not that I don't trust people, it's that I immediately question reality. And I do have a little bit of odd perceptions. I'm colorblind. I don't see sarcasm right away. Social cues, like when someone wants to back away, I don't necessarily notice that. I've noticed sometimes I will scoot closer when someone's trying to back away and I don't notice it because maybe they're trying to tell me that I am in someone's way. So they're trying to, use that body magnetism and pull me out of the way because I'm not noticing it. And they don't want to tell me to move. So, but maybe they're just trying to back away. And it's a rough situation most of the time. Another reason why, even if you guys do want me to change up Fridays and, put in more like kind of a typical blog format where I say a little idea like I said yesterday, Grace's good news is, or I bring up just random stupid from the internet and I'll say one thing, cut, and I'll put in little pictures or the tweet or something. But yeah, the video's longer than one yesterday. But the joy of these is the fact that you don't have to worry about your perception. Because no matter how many times I've pre-recorded, you know that this stuff is unedited. And my thoughts are streamy and weird and they bounce all over the place. But there's some shit going on that may involve people's perception of me that is not true. But there isn't much I can do about it right now. There may never be something I can do about it. Because once people perceive something and it definitely goes against what they like or think should be right, they solidify it in their brain. It's just like vaccines cause autism. It doesn't matter. They read one report from someone who kind of made shit up and they hold on to it. Hold on to one thing because they were told false information, but it supported a paranoia. And in this situation, or in other situations in my life, someone saw something, they made a snap judgment about it, and it fell in line with their paranoia. Kind of hard to break someone from that. Can you ever? Can you ever break these parents of the vaccines cause autism thing? Last I checked, you can't. Even if they give their kids vaccines and they don't get autism, they could still be, because the one happened, and their kids could die off left and right from measles, mumps, rubella, smallpox. But they were in the right, and that's a debate for a different time. I just switch hands because I did an exercise. My arms are really weak. So that's that. I will see you over this weekend. There is no movie this weekend. Warcraft is coming out this weekend, but that's going to be a huge crowd. We always go to the week after. But we have Medford next week, so that's a road trip vlog. I will catch you guys later. I'm going to probably lay down for a little bit.